I'm about 25 minutes early to my placement, first day of placement in the hospital. Not the one that I had last semester doesn't really count. I was with a facilitator, so this time there's no facilitator, it's just like a proper placement. So I'm here at Gold Coast Private Hospital in the city, and my placement is at the maternity ward. I haven't done obs and gynae, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect either. But yeah, we're ready to go. I'm gonna go in early and sign this confidentiality form, and we're gonna get some passes as well that'll give me access to a few of the stuff around the hospital. And yeah, we'll go and see how it is. Alright, so it's been about a week or so since my placement, and I've had time to have a bit of a think about what happened, what I learned. There were quite a number of things that happened. So I went and checked in, and I was placed in the special care nursery, and what they do there is they have babies. They're all placed in these rectangular prisms, and they have a sort of an environment around that baby. That's what the purpose of the box is. So it has a certain kind of humidity, certain kind of temperature, and it's meant to make it easier for the baby to fully develop. These babies in particular that were in the nursery when I was there, we had 3 sets of twins, and a set of twins was planned to be delivered that morning as I went in. So I went in, two sets were there, and another one came in. I saw a few different processes that I haven't seen before, such as noting down these vitals for these premature babies. The way that you take vitals are slightly different. For example, you don't take blood pressures because you don't use a normal cuff for taking the blood pressures. For example, you use these special sized cuffs that are like super thin for their little tiny arms, and you wrap it around, and that's what takes it for you. So you don't actually do a manual blood pressure on a premature baby because the vessels and the nerves are all too fragile. And I saw things like that. And then something else that I saw that was really interesting was how they took bloods for these babies. And it turns out that they don't take bloods from the arms, or the upper limbs rather. They go to the feet and they prick on, so if that was the feet, they prick on this side or that side, and they squeeze the blood out. And that's how they fill the tubes. And these tubes are a lot smaller than like big adult ones or even children ones. And it's actually a really tedious process because the babies are so fragile. You have to be really careful in that you don't want to squeeze the feet so much, but you also want enough blood for a proper blood test. And at the same time, you've got to make sure that the blood doesn't clot, because the way that the blood comes out when you prick it is that it comes drop by drop. So if you don't get enough blood and the blood that you have so far, which might be a few drops, has clotted, well then you kind of just wasted your time and you've made the baby uncomfortable and the parents were watching as well, uncomfortable. So I kind of saw that, and the nurse who did it was absolutely amazing. She explained where we do it, the kind of process that's involved. She showed me, and that was really interesting. And I had to relate back to the anatomy of where the veins are in the foot and why you don't prick the center and right in the middle. And so I saw a few interesting things. I also helped out with a bit of the admin side, helping out the nurses with filling out the paperwork. And the only thing was that I didn't get to talk to any of the doctors. That was a bit of a downside, but we did learn a few things, so that was good. Yeah, so that was kind of my placement. How do I feel about it overall? I think it was good. It's kind of ironic that I started my proper placements with the special care nursery, kind of symbolic as to the beginning of my journey, I guess. Just as the baby is born, my journey through medicine is born, as cheesy as that sounds. So that was, yeah, it was good. I did have a lot of time where I wasn't really doing anything, there wasn't really anything happening. In those times, I did make sure that there was anywhere else that I could be helping with. I was just letting them know that I was available to help and kind of learn anything if there was anything. And I was, in the meantime, I was studying. Obviously, I had a ton of lectures that week that were needed to be handled. So I was studying, observing, and trying to make the most of what that placement was. And so that's kind of really my take-home messages. Try to, when you're on placement, take every single opportunity to learn from the nurses or the doctors or whoever you're with, because you might not be in the hospital all the time, you might be in the community, you might be at a physio, wherever you are. Take the opportunity to learn. Even if there's nothing, go ahead and ask them if there's anything that they'd like you to help with or they'd like you to see. If you can't, if there's nothing else for you to do, don't waste your time. Go and study. I'm sure you have a lot of lectures and workshops and practicals that you have to catch up on or either study for in advance. So I'd recommend doing that, which is what I kind of tried to do. So that concludes this. I hope that was useful. See you guys in the next one.